To wrap things up, let's create a very simple main menu. We want to do this in a new level, so let's go to Maps. Let's create another level, and we will call it Main Menu. And we can save, open it up. It should be completely blank, completely dark. It's good. We don't need anything in the level because we will just be doing this with UI. So let's go to UMG folder, and let's just create a new widget, and we will call it W Main Menu. And I'm just going to create a pretty simple main menu loadout by adding some text in the center. Alignment 0.5, 0.5, 0, 0. Actually, maybe left top and then so like 100. Size to context. Make the text whatever the title of your horror game is. We'll call this Spooky Horror Game. Seems like a pretty good name to me. I'm gonna change the font, make it bold, change the size. Just something very simple. And we're also gonna add a couple of buttons to start game, quit game. So I'm gonna add a vertical box on the left side. So anchor to left middle. Gonna make the Y 0.5, size Y. 500, size X, 350. I'm gonna add 2 buttons, 1 and 2. I'm gonna make them both fill, and maybe add a spacer between them so they're not just stuck together. Okay. Add some text to both. I'm just, going through this very quickly. It's gonna look kind of ugly, but this is more about functionality than making this look good, so I'm just gonna call this play, make it black so it's easier to see, and this one will be quit. Okay. Now let's select the button for play, scroll down, on pressed. We're going to use a node called open level. And the level we want to open is whatever level you have. Ours is called, if we go to content, maps, horror level. So I'll just type that in. You want to make sure it's spelled exactly correct, of course, or it will not open the right one. So it's always good to double check. And on the quit button, on pressed, we're just gonna call quit game. And that'll just close the game. Now, here in this world, for the game mode override, we don't want to just use L1 game mode because it'll use our L1 character, and we have already a HUD, and now we're just falling through the world, an endless black void forever, so we don't want to use that. So we will go into content, game BP, we're going to make a new folder called main menu. We're going to just create a quick new game mode for this, so blueprint class, game mode, or game mode base is right here, sometimes I forget. We'll call this GM for game mode, main menu, and we want a player controller, so blueprint class, player controller. I'll call this main menu controller. Now in this game mode we just created, we want to set the player controller class not to player controller or HD player controller, but main menu controller. For default pawn, we're just going to remove it, going to set it to none, and in the game mode override in world settings for this level, we want to set it to GM main menu. So now if we hit play, we no longer are using our horror game player, but we're not using any at all, so there's nothing spawned in the world except that we can just see through the default view. So let's go into our main menu controller, And we want to change a few things, so we want to show our mouse cursor. So mouse, we want to check show mouse cursor. In the begin play, we want to create the widget. So create widget, and then choose main menu. And we want to add it to the viewport. And we want to set our input mode to UI only. Player controller is self. Widget to focus is the main menu widget. And let's test that out. So let's hit play. And we have our awful main menu right here with just the text, the play, and the quit. So if we hit quit, it just closes our window because we've quit the game. And if we hit play, it loads up our level. And we are now playing. If you wanted to spice up a bit, you could add stuff in the background so it's not just a black screen. So you could just add a image in the UI if you want, or you could add something that happens in real time. So maybe if we take our mannequin's idle animation, what's it? It's called idle. No, not the blend space. Third person idle. Let's just bring him to 0, 0, 0. Let's add maybe our flicker, BP flickering light. I can't remember which one I like better, the actor or the material that we created. Let's change this to lit so we can see what's happening. Ooh. Don't want to leave him overexposed. Guess I could just turn the intensity down. If we hit play, we're gonna see him? Not really. Let's get a camera in here. 0, 0, 0. And let's position it how we want. 90. Something like this. Maybe put him to the side a bit, maybe move the light to his other side. Yeah, something like that. Now we also want to add a post-process volume because, like always, now that we have light in the scene, we want the exposure to be turned to 1 and 1. And then make sure it's set to unbound so it affects the entire area. As we can see, now that I've made the intensity too low, maybe something like that. And we could just open the level blueprint, get player controller, set view target with blend. Make sure you have the camera selected, right click, create reference to camera actor. Set that as the new view target, blend time 0, and everything else is fine. So now when we hit play, we should be looking through the eyes of this camera, and this just kind of makes it better. My times are way too high for the min and max, so I'm just going to actually just replace this with our point light. And add the function just because it's a little faster than trying to adjust that. So, okay, and then we have our flicker. We'll set that as our light function material. Perfect. So let's hit play. We now have our flickering light and just a very, very simple background. You can build anything you want in the scene. It's a regular scene like everything else. And as we already tested out, the play and the quit work just fine. Alright, so now we have a cool main menu to go into our game, and when we lose the game, we have a way to restart as well. Of course, you can add buttons for return to main menu and quit. For returning to main menu, you would just use this same open level node, but instead of horror level, it would be main menu, and then quit would be the same thing, quit game. Alright, so that's going to be it for creating a very simple main menu. I will see you in the next episode.